And I love just it's the support that you feel when you're watching people and everyone's willing them to do well, and the clap that you get when you get a clean, that's the best. So.
I think if you go on YouTube and you put in Kim Edgar Red, I think it'll actually bring up one of your songs, won't it?
It will, indeed, yes it will. That's the one about Bathgate.
There you go. So, and of course the weather is fantastic here. I'm just wondering if it's like this all the time in Fort William.
I'm sure it is, and everyone should come. It's sunny here forever.
So anyway, well, that's very nice. So hopefully later this week we'll be able to play that tune on the 6th.
Well, I tell you what, I've got the CD here, and we thank you very much, Dave. Where's he gone? Where's the other fella?
Who? Mr. Weller.
Mr. Weller. Oh, there he's over there.
He's round the corner.
This is for you, Mr. Weller. It's for you. He's our head of music, and I daren't cross the line.
Well, the good news is I've actually
got
Butterflies and Broken Glass in my wife's car, because Kim was kind enough to give me a copy of it when she was up performing at the Eden Court in Inverness. You'll know where that is, David.
I remember way back in the mists of time. I remember it vaguely. Yeah.
And the weirdest thing of all was our next door neighbour said, there'll be somebody coming in late at night than actually at the Eden Court, and we didn't even know it was Kim. So I crept out in the dark of night.
Which you are known to do.
Yeah, I know. And spoke to her, and she was kind enough to put a CD through the letterbox the next morning, so we were able to listen to it in the car. So anyway, a what? A badger?
Yeah, they come out at night.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
My hair's gone white, if that's anything to do with it. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, thanks very much to Kim Edgar for Kim Edgar coming along to see us this morning. As we say, connections with the Scottish 6 Days. Our dad rode in the Scottish. He was also a development rider for Pook and Monteza. And our uncle, Clark the Coast, for many years at the Scottish 6 Days Trial. So Kim, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Singer-songwriter from Edinburgh, Kim Edgar.
Thank you very much indeed. Do you notice, fellas, that nobody else got that friendly arm gesture this morning? See that?
She's better looking than you, that's for sure.
Everybody's better looking than me. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you, Kim. Let's look at time. Do you realise now it's 10:15?
We've got some other interviews to do.
Behind you.
Yeah.
Yes,
let's stand in the wrong place. I'll just catch these gentlemen
here.
Yeah,
just bring them in.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, if we just stand here, we'll be on television as well. We've already had a quick chat with Johnny Britton, who's on the far left of your screen at the moment. Johnny started off the trial this morning at 7:30 a.m., the 100th edition of the Scottish 6 Days Trial. Johnny won the trial in 1952 and 1957 on Royal Enfield bullet machines. In the centre here we've got a very famous man as well. This gentleman won the 1961 Scottish 6 Days Trial on his short stroke factory AGS 187 BLF. How many marks did you lose that year? It's Gordon Jackson.
Just one, John. So really that was probably the over my trials career, that was probably the best ride that I ever had, I think. And had I had a clean sheet, it wouldn't have meant the same as having just one dab. And we were lucky that Peter Howdell from Motorcycle News was there to get the picture, and that's been a picture that's been quite famous over the years. So that's been, and it's very nice to come back, and I've met quite a few of the young riders who are riding today who I'd read about but hadn't met, so it was nice to meet them too. So, and also it's nostalgic for me to come back because Sammy Miller has found my old bike that had been lost for 40 years, and he's rebuilt it exactly the same as I had it in 1961. So I had a ride on that yesterday in the parade, so it's absolutely magnificent, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you.
It's a fantastic bike, and of course it was one of the bikes that you actually commented at the time. You were really, really excited when that bike was brought out by the factory, because it really was the first AGS that you had that looked like a factory bike, wasn't it? It wasn't just all the bikes you had before that looked like standard trials machines. This one was a little bit special, wasn't it?
It was a bit special. Our previous, we always had aluminium engine plates and a few trick bits on the bikes. The works bikes always, especially, a little bit better, so it gave you a bit of a psychological advantage. But for 1961, they built me a new frame with Reynolds 531 tubing, and the engine was set an inch further back in the frame, and also the footrests. And I rode it a couple of local trials prior to the Scottish, and then it went back and they just sort of checked it, and then we came up here. But I think, knowing that it was a psychological thing as well, it was a new bike and I liked it, and that gives you confidence. And so I was very lucky to have had a good ride, and I had 11 years with AJS. I rode up here 11 consecutive years and enjoyed every minute of it.
And it's great that the bike was actually found, because there was a story for many years that the bike had gone out to Australia, and that appears to be untrue. Is that right?
Correct. Well, what happened about 15 years ago, I said to the late Rafe Venables I'd like to try to trace the bike, and what had happened when I retired, I said to Hugh Viney, could I buy the bike? He was a competition manager, and he said no, we want it for your successor, who was to be Gordon Blakeway. And Gordon was there for 2 years, and then he bought the bike because it was the time when all the British factories were going downhill. And anyway, he sold it to a chap called Bob Goldner in Hampshire, and he sold it to a guy a year or two later in the Midlands. So we got as far as Bob Goldner, but Bob didn't know to whom he'd sold it. So of course it was off the radar as such. And a year ago, January, a guy rang Sam up and said, I've got a lot of bits and pieces here, and one of them is 187 BLF. And he'd been left this by his uncle. They're all in parts. So Sam went up to see it, and he rang me the next day and said, no, it's not, don't think it's genuine, not all there. Then in May of last year, the guy rang Sam again and said, I found the logbook, found a lot more bits. So Sam went up and bought it. Then he asked me to go to the museum to verify it, which I did. And then, of course, he's rebuilt it and made a magnificent job of it. So.
And of course you rode it up the main street yesterday afternoon.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was quite nostalgic to jump on it again. Yeah,
absolutely. I think in 2000, I think I lent you a matchless to ride.
Yes, in 2000, 2001, it should have been 40 years since my one dab, but it was foot and mouth. So I did it in 2002. And you very kindly lent me your matchless, and I rode that in the parade then. So yeah, it was. I'd come back most years, but I haven't been for 2 years, but I did thoroughly enjoy it yesterday.
Yeah, and the one thing you said to me when you got off the matchless was, you said, I think your front forks are bent on this bike.
Did I?
Yeah, because you just know these things when you jump on a bike, you can sense it, and I knew they were bent. They were a bit twisted, that's right. Now, can we have a quick word with Johnny Britton again? Because obviously Johnny was on early this morning. Now, obviously, Johnny, this is the 100th edition. I think you've been delighted to be asked to start the event, and Gordon here is going to present the awards on Saturday evening, so you've both got a job to do.
We've both got a job to do. I was thrilled to bits to be asked, and the reception I had this morning was just fantastic, and the atmosphere, and I'm sure Gordon's going to enjoy presenting the awards at the end of the week just as much as I've done this today. I must just tell you about the AJS, if I may. We arrived at the pre-65 a couple of days ago, and Sammy said, have you practiced on this bike? And Gordon said no, and Sammy had him on a training run, sent him up 100 yards, 200 yards, back again. He said, more, you've got to do more, Gordon. So we did the same again. The third time, Gordon got to the far end, and somebody wanted to take a photograph of Gordon on the C15. So Gordon posed for this, and Sam was getting worried, where's his bike? And he said to me, I think he's fallen off the thing. He came back safely, and Sammy seemed quite pleased with your performance, and all went well in the ride, which unfortunately I wasn't in, but thoroughly enjoyed watching, so it was great.
I think it's got to be a great week. I mean, the weather looks as though it's going to be fantastic. Was it a hot week the year that you won in 1961, Gordon?
It wasn't as good as this. It was a bit of everything, but wasn't a bad one. I've known it to snow and hail, but it didn't do that. We had a bit of rain and a bit of sunshine and a bit of it, but it wasn't. It was quite a good year. What I would like to say, John, while I'm on, when I was asked to present the prizes, I felt it was a great honour and a privilege to be asked to do that on the centenary trial, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'd like to say that I think it's a great honour, a privilege for people now to have great riders like yourself, Johnny Britton, rode for Royal Enfield, and yourself, Gordon Jackson, who rode for AJS. It's great to have you here in Scotland because, you know, people still talk about the guys of your era to this day. That they mention people, even locally in Fort William, about Hugh Viney even to this day, and Rafe Venables, who was one of the great journalists of the time. And it's fantastic that you're here for the 100 years. I mean, you take it as a privilege. I'm really shocked that you're taking it as a privilege to do this, but we're all happy to see you guys back here. I mean, I know that Gordon McLaughlin was walking about the town yesterday. I've spoken to Gordon Blakeway. A lot of the old hands here, guys that basically are legends. Yeah, are legends in the trials world.
But yeah, it's good to be back. When I mean, you say like people like Hugh Viney. He was the guy that gave me my chance. But here, he was wonderful up here. He won in 47, 8, and 9, and again in 53. So yes, I mean he was also a legend, but unfortunately not with us anymore. But I hope the club have another successful 100 years of the club and 100 years of the trials. I wish them every success in the future. Unfortunately, we won't be here then, but I hope it all goes on, you know, because I've always said this is the finest trial in the world, and I think it still is today. It's borne out by the fact the entries were oversubscribed in the 50s, and they're oversubscribed now, so I think that says a lot for the trial. So, you know, people come from all over the world to ride in this trial. So
absolutely right. Well, I think we'll maybe go back now. Can we go back to the anchor people? Well, thanks very much. Johnny Britton, 1952 and 57 winner. Gordon Jackson, who made the famous win in 1961, but you also won it again?
Yeah, I won it in 56, 60, and 61, and 1958.
So there you are, between them about that's 6 Scottish 6 days wins between these two gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Johnny Britton and Gordon Jackson.
Thank you very much indeed, fellas. Thanks so much
Thank you.
indeed. There you go, look at that. Shake your handies. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. And you're absolutely right in what you say, true legends.
Absolute legends. I mean, when I was a small boy, my father...
Can you remember that far back?
I can remember that far back. My father used to talk incessantly about Gordon Jackson. He used to tell me what a great person he was.
Yeah.
And it's really delightful that gentlemen of their era can come up here and enjoy the week as well, and they wouldn't miss it for the world. They come most times. Gordon's not maybe been here the last couple of years, but they normally come up for the pre-65 as well, and I think they all have a great time, and they're all friends, and it's great to have that. It's a great sport. You meet friends for life in trials. I mean, I met some guys recently from the Hoyton Border Club, like Roy Kerr and Graham Smith, and my old friends come down from Melvick, David Mowat. They're all down and all watching the trial today, and these are guys I've known for probably nearly 30 years now, and it just...
Oh, you must have met them when you were 40 odd then, did you?
Yeah. No, but it's true. I mean, I think in a lot of sport is a good thing. I mean, obviously we love trials, and whatever you do, whether it's shinty or badminton or taekwondo or whatever, it's great, you know, and you meet people and they're lifelong friends.
Or radio.
Or radio.
Yes. Right, moving on, time-wise, it's almost 10:25, am I right? Do you like that? I'm getting used to the time now, you know. Right, what we've got to catch up on? I think we've got breaks to catch up on, do we? Yes. Yes. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just go get him. Hang on a minute. He's not paying any attention here. Hang on a second. Headphones on. Microphone. You do some work. There we go. Yes, yeah. Remember your microphone's live at all times.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Hang on. Turn the face of the camera.
I'm with you now, yeah.
You know, right, okay. This is your starting for 10.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that's not actually true, because if you think about it, they used to do white wall tyres, and I have seen tyres in different colours before.
Have you?
I think the tyre being black is more to do with the fact that the carbon content, I think, more than anything. But I'd have to check that out with Michelin.
Perhaps, since we got a lot of help from my friends at Michelin, perhaps they could answer that question. Yeah, we can do that.
No, I would hope so.
Yeah. Anything else? Come in. He's good at his shout-outs,
Shouting, yeah.
Oh!
Oh, yeah. That's
all right,
right.
yes. Yeah, you'd like to do that now, yes. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the guy they call the, well, it used to be Dubai Dome, but I think it's now Kota Kid, isn't it?
Kota Kid, I remember that from last year.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't do that last year, could we?
No, that's right.
We had to be sort of undercover.
So I wonder if you can see us. I wonder if you can.
We'll be able, yes, because
so.
you can get the Nevis Radio website all over the place.
It's
It's available everywhere.
Oh.
And these images, these poor people that will be seeing the two of us at the moment, there's a bit of delay. But, you know, they will, how long's the delay? 5-second delay.
Well, I actually met Dominic at the famous Scott trial down in Richmond. I think it was last year. He was there. He was over, so we had a bit of a chin wag, as you do.
It's not like you.
No,
You're normally quite a quiet sort of fella that would sit in the corner and say nothing to anybody.
I saw relatives of mine a little while ago. Are they in now? Are they?
He's what is he?
He's
about
getting
somewhere.
fueled, is he? I happened to notice the guy that I didn't recognise on the radio earlier on popped in.
Yeah, I saw him. There he is. There, look.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
There's undercover Moffat. I better walk in front of the camera.
He won't walk in front of the camera. He's well trained.
Unlike his father.
Stand behind us.
Yeah, come on in there. He's taller.
Hi, Miles.
Hi, Miles.
Hi, Miles. Hey, Miles.
5-second delay. He's probably just got it now then.
Yeah, now.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I say?
And he's got that bit now as well.
You run anything to see, aren't you?
No, we're not.
You
We
know.
can
Oh.
we can say anything.
Oh, we can do anything we like. Have you not got things to do to your bike?
No, I'm not allowed in yet. I'm just doing...
Well, get out then.